were given the superpower. And with superpowers, as we watch in our superhero movies, comes a lot of hey, and welcome. It's your girl Jazz, Jubilant Gestures, and I am back for another video. If you're new here, welcome, and if you're returning, welcome back. Today, if you can't tell by the title, I am going to be talking about lactation. So it's another lactation video. So today I attended the Medela COVID-19 webinar. So in the Medela COVID-19 webinar, if you are a lactation professional, I hope that you tuned in to get the current information on what's going on with breastfeeding and the coronavirus. If not, that's fine. I'm going to kind of brief you and tell you my thoughts on it and everything that's going on with that. So, if you did not tune in to the Medela webinar and you don't have the access to the slides that were shared during the webinar, that's fine, because in this webinar, most of the information was pulled from the CDC. So I'm pretty sure that you can go on the CDC's website and just look up the breastfeeding information that they have right now for COVID-19. So with that being said, the webinar was great and very informative, but it was kind of standard. Standard. What I mean by that is that, you know, as a lactation professional, that when in doubt, breastfeed. I mean, that's just what we go to in lactation. It's just breastfeeding. Of course, there are some very small circumstances. Well, they could be very large circumstances, but there are not many circumstances where a mother is unable to breastfeed her baby. And from what the information has been shared through the CDC, through Medela, is continue doing that. Continue breastfeeding your baby, even if you are found positive for COVID-19.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
I know you're probably thinking, like, what do you mean, Jess? What do you mean still breastfeed? Like I said, for those of us in the lactation community, you already know what time it is. You know they're going to tell you to breastfeed your baby, and you know that's because of the antibodies that are in breastfeeding, the power pack nutrients, just all of the amazing things that I'm not going to get into right now about breastfeeding and how it works and what happens when you do breastfeed. If you have a cold, if you have the flu, if you smoke cigarettes, like, there are just certain things that you continue to breastfeed your baby when you do certain things or when you have certain ailments. And that is the same for coronavirus. So basically what the CDC is saying, and what we not discussed, but what was discussed in the webinar, is the continuing and the encouraging of moms breastfeeding who have contracted, or however you say it, who have tested positive for coronavirus, also known as COVID-19. Okay. So you may want to know, what does that look like? Sis, I got corona. How am I supposed to breastfeed my baby? My baby all up in my face, you know? So you do still want to cover, you do still want to follow all the sanitation procedures and protocols that is going forward with coronavirus, but still breastfeed your baby. If you are sick to a point where you cannot physically feed your baby, like you are weak, you are not feeling too well, then that's when you can pump your breast milk. Yeah, and have a close family member, hopefully your partner, feed the baby. Yeah. So, I mean, you want to know my opinion on that? on coronavirus, breastfeeding, COVID-19, Medela webinar, CDC. I'm gonna say breastfeed your baby. I mean, what did you think? What did you think I was gonna say? Like, come on now, be clean, be precautious. So, wear your mask, wash your hands, but breastfeed your baby. Also, I want to use this time to talk to my moms who are breastfeeding or who are maybe not breastfeeding anymore, like me. I am in technically the weaning phase, but I am no longer really breastfeeding. I am still lactating though. So, all of my moms, I am really recommending that you have a emergency supply. Some moms, they already were keeping up with the supply because you moms may have been working, or maybe you are just using the breast milk while you're in the house because you just aren't feeling up to it. But right now, I want to like call a state of emergency in breastfeeding. We don't know what today or tomorrow really looks like with everything that's going on. It's not very predictable. So I want to urge moms, my lactating moms, to have a emergency supply. And because I can understand if pumping is a little much for you, if it's a little overwhelming, I encourage you to maybe write in a journal, how pumping is making you feel. Honestly, writing in a journal, regardless, because we're all going through a lot right now as a society, and as individuals in our own individual households. So I think that we should just journal anyway. But if you are taking my advice and making an emergency supply, which I have just been recommending 4 bags of breast milk. Just if you can get 4 bags of breast milk, 4 storage bags of breast milk, anywhere from 3 to 4 ounces each. I would think that that would be pretty wise, pretty good family planning. Because we don't know. Even if you are switching over to formula, I would have to recommend pumping and saving some of that milk because we don't know if some of our resources will be able to resource us tomorrow. And we do have a superpower. I'm also going to use this time to uplift my lactating moms because I know that it is hard. It is hard. Trust me firsthand. I know it's hard. But we were given the superpower. And with superpowers, as we watch in our superhero movies, comes a lot of pressure. People count on superheroes. So I feel like our families are kind of counting on us, like, to have what we need in an emergency. You were blessed with this superpower. Use that superpower. Make sure that you are eating, moms, all my lactating moms. Make sure that you are drinking water and you are staying hydrated. And whatever that means, if you're boiling water because your grocery store doesn't have water, you're not able to get to water, you may not have a purifier. Everybody does not have what some of us are blessed to have, okay? So if you're boiling water, drink your boiled water. Drink your water, please. Drink water. Eat. Making sure your body is making sure your body has the nutrition it needs to produce what your baby can survive off, because babies will take whatever they need. You put them to the breast, they're going to take whatever they need from you, and even if that means leaving you high and dry. So make sure that you have what you need to supply what your baby needs, and also having an emergency supply for just in case, because we do not know and we do not want to put our trust into all of these resources that could potentially be taken away from us at any point. I hope that you got something out of this video. It was kind of a ranty video. Please feel free to leave me comments, asking me questions. I know this is a very uncertain time, but I want our moms to be certain in breastfeeding. So thank you, and I'll see you next video.